Master Grade Universe Booster. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert, 184, 2Rs2Bs, Gundam Reviews.net. Are you excited about the end of Build Fighters, or is it? Well, anyway, if you like the Build Strike Gundam, you can see it there in its regular form with the Build Booster flying separate. That is a backpack, but if you want to swap them off, you've got the choice here of the Universe Booster, also standalone and also a crazy backpack. But let's focus on the vehicle mode, which has a pretty good amount of play options and some nice effects. When everything's put together, there's a fair amount of plastic here for 2,800 yen. Just a lot of it is going to be of the effect variety. Here's the main body for the booster. You've got the cannons, the absorb shield, and the star beam rifle. But this may be what it's all about for some people. Gundam Wing, eat your heart out. Plavsky, you are not. You're also going to have some great looking yellow gates there. You've got 4 arms to hold them up, and a useful little stand with a multitude of attachment points that you can see here in clear. And if you want to go pop this backpack onto any other Gundam, well, many anyway, you've got these gray attachment points which are getting familiar. So for the main body, if you're a fan of putting together military vehicles, this is going to be right up your alley, because this feels pretty sharp. And look at this, lots of color in a small area. Clear red is looking good on the gray or the white over here, and you can pop those off if you want to put on even more effect parts. The yellow looks great and the gray is as you'd expect, but the orange on top of the gray is going to be good. And you can see some more details down there, and the lining is nice and easy and comes out pretty crisp. The cannons, you can guess, are going to be attaching onto the back. And so how do we transform it? Well, you take this part and you're going to twist this around and up, and then you're going to have the very familiar strike attachment point there, which is working oh so well for the remasters. And then you take these and bring them up and forward. You'll notice you've got some more clear red there, so those you can also get out. Be careful with these, because the familiar yellow is going to be replaced by gray. Looks good, just hope that they stay on when you're putting them in place. And the cannons, F91, you were not this colorful, so check that out. Clear red, top, side, and bottom there. You've got some nice little fins sticking out, gray details in the front. Though the barrel itself is going to be looking pretty plain, well, you can at least mix it up by stretching it out. Yes, Vespers, eat your heart out. Perhaps. The base is kindly included here, and if you want to go vertical, you've got this clear attachment point. Just keep a Ziploc around, because you're going to have a lot of these, and you'll have to figure it out on the go, unless you want to go back to the manual to figure out which is which. And with the cannons on, and when it's all put together, this is going to look awfully flat, but you know what? It is looking master grade quality. Tons of gray between the white, the smooth lining there, and the clear red is definitely going to be eye-catching along with that cockpit. The yellow details in the front, everything's looking sharp. And even more so if you're taking a look at it, not straight on. And this is sort of strange, but for height comparison here, well, what do you think of the Universe Booster next to the original Build Booster? The main bodies are not going to be that far off, but you can just see the cannons a lot thicker, of course, on the Universe one. Not to mention more colorful, although I am still a huge fan of that red add-on. The wings, though, are definitely going to set him apart and bring that ale freedom aspect to it. But if you had these two guys whooshing around on display together, would anybody buy multiples to have them on the Gundam and flying beside him? And though this review is nominally about the Universe Booster only, of course you're supposed to buy the Master Grade Build Strike and combine them together. And actually, because they're giving you this stand here, you can have them look like a pretty cool duo even before they got tie. For the Power Gates, Bandai has been upping their game. I think they look great, both in size and complexity. Not quite the right word in it for it, but compared to other brands, Bandai at least getting in the game here for big parts. So what are you going to have? Well, a nice little clear part underneath, and that's going to have a ball joint so you can get them up on the arms. And Bandai's getting better and better, as we've seen with things like the MG new version Katoki and beyond. So what are you going to be getting? Well, you'll notice that they twist this way, they twist this way, and they twist this way. 3 points of articulation. You can see where they can attach onto the stand and then attach into the gates themselves. So remember when I said keep your Ziploc handy? Well, you take these clear red parts out of the side, and then you're going to have these, and these also move as well. You'll notice that the red is very similar in shape to the clear here. Plug this in, and then you'll notice that you're going to have these parts to hold on those clear arms I just showed you. And when they're on, you're going to have options galore because of those arms in there. Many, many moving parts. And I've got to say, if you thought the Universe Booster was a little bit small and compared to some of the other support vehicles we've seen, it may be. But when you're adding on these effect parts that are almost as long, if you got rid of the barrels of the cannons, they would be longer than the actual Universe booster here. They are looking very cool, and especially with a rotating base and it catching the light, just a lot of fun. It looks like this guy's ready to pierce the heavens. Well, this combination is actually going to be a little bit strange. It seems to make the arms stand out a lot more awkwardly. Perhaps if they were offset, it would be a lot more fun. So turntable, not necessarily a hit in terms of displaying this guy before they go together. But at the same time, it's still always fun to have the ability to have a support vehicle flying around beside the Gundam that it's actually supposed to be working with. And if you've got some patience setting up symmetrical arms over here, remember you've got 2 different attachment points plus the extender, and that's going to help you get all of this up for the very large power gate. Getting that square just right is going to be tricky, and you'll notice that it's sort of going down below the turntable there, so this wouldn't work on a regular shelf, but at the same time it's easy enough to get the arms up. Just tricky getting all 4 of them there. But again and again, every time I see large effect parts here, Bandai, this is going to be catching the eye, and if this is the demo you're going for, well, it's definitely working for me. And with this display, you've got the ability to get him set up both in front and in the back of it. And if that doesn't add an exclamation point onto this whole video, I don't know what does. So now for some final thoughts on just the Universe booster aspect of this. I've got to say, I'm sort of torn on this. I do really like it, and I like the fact that we're getting more support vehicles. We've seen it before with the Master Grade V Gundam. It's just a question, ultimately, of how Bandai wanted to package this. But for a pretty reasonable price here, you are getting a Gundam, and you're going to be getting 2 different backpacks if you want to go for the set, and you can swap them all on. This is different from the way they did things with the Strike and with the Victory Gundam. If there was a Master Grade Star build, I mean, I'd easily buy that, but you can imagine there might be some people that would skip over the Blue Freedom wings. But overall, for $2,800, I gotta say, this isn't quite there. It seems a lot cheaper. You can get effect parts from other companies for a lot less, but the details that they actually put into the booster, I'm very much appreciative of. But remember, the whole idea of this is to put it together with a Master Grade Build Strike, which I'll be doing in the next part, and there's all sorts of more goodies that you can add in, from shields to, I've heard, wings are rather popular with Gundam, so I can't wait to see how those are all going to be working out. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. How would you have liked to be buying this Master Grade Universe booster? It's a lot better than the Ale, just in the fact that it actually is a separate separate vehicle, so it can stand on its own, both in terms of sales and for display. But please let me know your thoughts on the pricing, the quality, and everything else, especially compared to the HG. Well, stick around. We're about to go Plavsky crazy here. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. You know how SD kits have their own crazy original gimmicks? The kind of thing that a kid just mucking around with it is going to come across anyway? Well, I think MGs could use them as well.